Hi, I'm Daisy,
Hi, I'm David.
and we're the MSA Crusaders.
We'd like to welcome all of our MSA Crusader listeners back to our second of our back-to-back weeks with two listeners. Today with Kerry Walsh and also followed immediately by Sarah Leighland. We thank you very much in helping us celebrate our 50th episode. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of MSA Crusaders with Daisy and I, David Knox. Welcoming back Kerry Walsh to our 50th episode that we're having our two-part series. So we'd like to welcome you back, Kerry.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you back, Kerry. How have you been?
Thanks. Oh, wow. Well, you know what they say with MSA? It's a roller coaster. It's a big old roller coaster. It's been up, it's been down, it's been sideways.
It's just a fun ride.
Yeah, that's a fun ride.
So this is going to be a pun, but I actually mean it. I actually mean it. Tell me about it.
Okay. Yeah, tell you about it. I will. So let's see. Where do I start? I think shortly after I spoke to you, I went to have stem cells in Mexico. Is that right?
Yes.
I spoke to you
Right.
beforehand.
Correct.
Well, they had a huge benefit for me. I had 2 IVs and an intrathecal, which is in the spine, so it gets into the cerebral spinal fluid. And immediately, within a week or so, I was able to walk better. My balance was better. My energy was better. I was in less pain. So many changes. They also used something called cerebrolysin, which is not FDA approved here, but they're using it in trials here for stroke recovery, for a traumatic brain injury, for cognitive problems. And indeed, it does seem to help with cognitive issues. So for me, the treatments were very beneficial. And some things got much better. And then some new things developed, and some things got worse. So I'll tell you all about it.
Sure. Sure. So which type of stem cells did they give you, if you recall?
Sure. Mesenchymal stem cells.
Okay.
They used amniotic. They used umbilical, and one thing they use down there is from baby teeth. Apparently, there are many stem cells in baby teeth. And who would think that, but indeed that is something that I don't think they do in the States. But so they're not neural cells. That's a big ethical problem. But
Yeah. So what you just said, if I heard it right, was a mitochondrial and umbilical, because like mitochondrial ones are the mid-level, like they're third out of the 5 level of stem cells, which are usually good for everything below the brain. And the umbilical are the best, which was better than the pluripotent cells I had. So, yeah, over here in the United States, using umbilical is still not a very good thing for most. I don't think there's any laws to actually use that. They banned it a while ago. But being able to have umbilical stem cells is the best of the best if you ever had to get stem cells. So I'm fascinated because umbilical stem cells can take any form factor in the body. Pluripotent is mostly brain and not lower body, and mitochondrial ones are mostly lower body and not brain. So you got the best of the best.
right, and in fact,
Nice combo.
yes, they were so powerful. I knew right away that good things were going to happen. I could just feel. And it took a while. They take a while. They can take up to a year. They can,
Yeah.
6 months really. Over a few weeks, you feel some difference. Then a few more months. But I just knew they were powerful. I actually do plan to go back and get placental, because I just want to cover all my bases. I figure I'm still in deep trouble, and I still need a lot of help. There's still a lot of stuff going on. So.
How much did that, if you would say, how much did that treatment cost?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole thing was about $5,500 for 2 IVs, including the cerebrolysin, stem cells, a vitamin cocktail that absorb the treatment, and then one intrathecal. So 2 IV, one intrathecal was at about $5,500 American, which is
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Wow. Yeah, mine,
insanely reasonable.
Mine was, of course, in north side of Chicago, just over 10 grand for uh, one small IV and two IVs, and then intranasal injections of the pluripotent. I would gladly get the umbilical like you had for half the price. Absolutely.
Yes, I'm encouraging other people to do it. You know, apparently it doesn't work for everybody. Every body is different. Some
It's definitely
people,
worth trying.
it's definitely it's so little money that if you can just scrape it together and you know, sell whatever you can sell and scrape together. This is our lives, and you know,
Yeah.
we're desperate. So I think I can speak for everyone. So I've done it. I went back for one more IV. That was all I could afford this time. The trip is not expensive. It was a 4-hour direct flight to Guatemala from Chicago, and that's where I got the treatment. It was in Guatemala. So, you know, people can contact me if they want information. I did a lot of research for 3 or 4 months with the help of a friend and other doctors, and got referrals because I didn't want to end up in some shady place that might harm me. Or you know,
Travel will be really affordable from Texas, wouldn't it?
oh, very right across, right. You know,
Yeah,
I-
most flights will transfer from Mexico to Houston because we're getting tickets in November for a funeral. So the treatment was actually in Guatemala, not in Mexico.
no, Guadalajara.
Guadalajara. Oh, we got family in Guadalajara. That's
Oh,
nice.
well, then it's worth going. And see, I actually stayed I didn't stay in Guadalajara. I stayed about an hour south in a near a place called Lake Chapala, which is a beautiful, beautiful, tranquil, gorgeous tourist location because I had a friend I could stay with. How lucky. And although they do have a lot of
It's
Airbnb,
even more affordable.
I want to really relax and have a tranquil time. That's a good way to do it.
Absolutely.
I
That's
would love it if she could send me that information.
yes, yeah. For 55, we are not doctors, no medical advice, but
Don't ever go.
5,500 for the top of the line umbilical stem cells, which can
Mhm.
take any form factor in the human body. The only cells that can do that are umbilical for 5,500 is a lifeline. That is amazing.
Right, it is. And I know another way I know that this is not a placebo, this is not pretend. They weren't giving me, you know, any sort of placebo. I actually took my mother for other issues. She has
Yeah.
different health issues. And she's elderly and very, very frail and has some serious things going on. And it changed her life as well. Same doctor, same treatment. Including the cerebralizing because she has had a number of strokes. So it's the real deal. And the people are nice, they're trustworthy, they're kind, they're caring. And yes, I'm happy. I have all the information together and I'm happy to pass it on to anyone. So
Absolutely.
let people know. And there are other things that I'm doing too, but we can get to that later if you want to ask me something else.
Right. So give us some examples of things that you were struggling at or couldn't do, and now after the treatments you're able to do or gotten better.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see. I posted about this in the group. I don't know if any of you saw this. I had hypomimia. I could not smile on one side of my face. And I could not raise my eyebrows properly. I couldn't make proper expressions, hypomimia. And I also had the stem cells injected in my face, all over my face. And that changed everything. Then I could make normal expressions, and that felt so good. It made me feel human again.
My last neurological appointment at the academic IU Health, they notated that my eyelid movements were not going very high, and so the lack of the movement. So it's fascinating because that just started on me a few months ago, and that's something that I'll need in the future.
I had it pretty
Can't do
bad.
that either.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I'm an actress, so I have to be able to use my face. And when I do work, and you know, which is periodically, sporadically, let's
Sure.
say.
Yeah, you gotta try to. There's stuff in the eyebrows.
Yeah, you have to be very direct. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure I can get a Sharpie to take care of it for you. You know.
Well, I do it the natural way. But
Eyebrows.
Yeah, right.
I'm just sketching on. but it made me feel, it did so much for my self-esteem and my sense of hope. So
Oh,
then,
yeah.
just that one little thing. And then, as I said, the ability to walk, then I was able to go for a walk on the lake. I hadn't been able to do that for a while. My balance, I had been falling a lot. My balance got better. My voice, if you'll recall, I was getting a lot of this kind of thing going on.
Raspy, yeah.
And I wanted to say for our listeners, Kerry is really, she's bright and radiant. She looks really radiant.
Oh,
Very, very vibrant and glowing, yes.
oh, well, thank you. I feel much better. As I said, things are still scary, but I feel more alive. But the night before I left, I felt like I couldn't wait a day longer. I was curled up in a ball in agony, crying in terrible pain, vomiting. I didn't know how I would even get to the airport. Somehow I struggled with my walker to get into the Uber, got a wheelchair as soon as I got there, and they were very worried, and they said, we'll take care of you. I was falling apart. And then people picked me up from the airport, brought me some, I was taken care of. And I thought once I got there, oh my gosh, I could not have waited another day. I was not functional. So the stomach pain, I'd been in the hospital with GI issues. I'd been just so many things. I'd been in and out of the hospital. I was suffering, so many things in so many ways. So it's a long list of what got better.
Let's say, has it also helped your REM behavior disorder?
Somewhat. It's still there. And I still have to take Klonopin and melatonin for that.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
right.
That's not cured. And unfortunately, I also have a new symptom, which started in around January, which is hallucinations.
Oh,
And they're getting worse. Now I have not just visual, but I have tactile, oral, olfactory, and they're very, very real and very, very upsetting. And which is making them suspect that I might also concurrently have Lewy body dementia.
I was about to say hallucinations completely rules out MSA unless you have a separate disease or the medication that is causing that.
Right. Yeah. But according to some people who know, the diseases are so similar. We know they're part of the group of diseases, but it's in different parts of the proteins are deposited in different areas. It is probably rare, but it is possible to have both because I have other elements like severe pain, physical pain, which doesn't usually go with Lewy body, at least not to that degree.
Right.
So there's crossover, and there's areas that I have that look like Lewy body, and there's crossovers that are distinctly looking like MSA. So
yeah, there's two diseases that you can get for Social Security right away. One of those is ALS, and the other one's not dementia with Lewy bodies, but it's Lewy bodies with dementia. It's Parkinson's with Lewy bodies. It's weird how they do it, but yeah, dementia with Lewy bodies is normally confused with Parkinson's right away, and those two struggle to be diagnosed correctly. But it is. You'll always hear about Parkinson's with dementia with Lewy bodies, always, but you'll never hear about MSA with dementia with Lewy bodies because it's just so rare. But like you said, it does in fact happen.
It does in fact happen. Maybe it happens more often than people realize. And it's becoming more and more clear that I have distinct factors of one, distinct factors of the other, and then a whole lot of things that cross over, like the RBD, the REM disorder, and balance issues and cognitive issues. My cognitive issues are not severe yet. I think they're much better than they could be because I've had 2 rounds of stem cells with cerebrolysin. And yes, the stem cells cross the blood-brain barrier, and especially when intrathecal, I think is absolutely key to get it in that cerebrospinal fluid and really.
So was that more of a spinal tap type of injection, or is that
yes, it was like a spinal tap, except it was going into the spine rather than fluid out of the spine. It was done in the hospital, you know, under sterile conditions, obviously safely. It really wasn't a big deal. It didn't take long. It wasn't painful. You know, they were very professional about it, and I would highly recommend it to other people to try. And I can't promise that it would work, but I'm just when we have no options that normal medical system is giving us, we have to take matters into our own hands. So
Yeah, and you know, stem cells is something that if you look at this, if you take a step back and stop saying I'm going to die of everything, right? If we take a step back and think of stem cells, stem cells might not stop MSA's progression in the brain per se, but those stem cells are great for rejuvenating the organs and the systems that are failing. Like I mean, you know, like myself, like it would help my urinary, it help my gastrointestinal, it might help the throat, it literally help everything from the brain, the head down
yes.
to renew itself. So now I'm still battling MSA like cognitively per se, right? But at least these other peripheral systems are being repaired and they're not falling apart so quickly. So yeah, I agree with you that it's definitely life changing.
That is exactly what happened to me. My GI, my urinary, all of those things I had to, I was taking, so I'm still on a lot of medications, but I'm able to take fewer and less of them now, which
Good.
is great.
I was just looking, and Kerry was last with us on our show on November 3rd. So,
Yeah, November 30th. Yeah, and by the way, I looked this up, Kerry. No, I've not said this to any of our guests showed up, but number one, first of all, you're number 9 on our all-time list of 50, which is your top 10. But I don't know if you understand that in the last month, since late August, early September, for some reason, everybody is Googling or searching your name on Spotify. And even more interesting, you have a 64% female audience. And most of these listeners to your podcast, now 50% are from the United States. The rest of them are from the UK, Ireland, Australia, Switzerland, Mexico, Canada, India, and Germany. So I just want to say that your podcast is worldwide, and people are listening for a reason. So thank you for coming on the first time and also the second time.
Oh, thank you. That's so great to hear. Actually, during the conference, I was chatting, and it was during your session, and I was chatting with somebody, and she mentioned the fact that she had really enjoyed right there at the moment.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm an opera singer or was an opera singer, and that's a very international
we
thing
did
to
get
do.
asked a lot. What was that lady's name?
Yeah, always. It's always Kerry.
So well, I'm glad that I hope it helps. I mean, I'm glad people are listening. I hope that it can give people hope that there can be improvement
that you are.
Can do.
Well, I don't think, I'm a skeptic in life. I'm a critic. I'm a skeptic. I just don't believe what people say. Even if Kerry is sitting in front of me saying, this has changed her life, I wouldn't believe her just because she said so. I don't think anybody should just blindly trust people. But when you actually understand how stem cells work, what you say, like the only doubt that you can have is that, well, did it actually improve the brain function versus the rest of the body? But the rest of it, from the head down, you have to 100% believe that what you're saying is the truth. The brain is a hard thing to repair. It's always going to be a hard thing. But what you're saying is factually true. If anybody Googles it, researches it, does whatever they want to, you are speaking the truth right now. So, I mean, but there's a lot of things that we don't know, a lot of things that we're looking forward to, clinical trials, other therapies, CBD and herbs from who knows where. But what you're saying about those stem cells is 100% factually backed up by not only the U.S. FDA and USDA, but everybody around the world.
And you say you're healing the body, not the brain. It's a computer that's crashing. Whether we want it to. You definitely are. You know what you're talking about when you come to the body and healing it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to tell you about something else that actually can heal the brain that I am doing. May I tell you about
Please,
that?
please
Sure.
do.
That is hyperbaric oxygen.
Yes.
We were
Hyperbaric
just
oxygen.
talking about that yesterday.
Okay, well, it is. I watched a fascinating webinar, and I have YouTube. I'll send you all the YouTube link to that, and anyone who gets in touch with you can pass that on. It explained exactly how it can heal neurodegenerative disease, exactly how it works. It's a 3-hour webinar, and the whole thing isn't about neurodegenerative, but I asked that question, so they spent a lot of time on it. It's so fascinating. And so I'm buying my own chamber.
Wow. Yeah. So when you get any type of stem cells, you are always told hyperbaric for the next 3 weeks at least to amplify the stem cell effectiveness.
I have a palliative nurse that I did have before. They had her granddaughter who drowned. It's just 2.
Yeah.
And they had it at home.
I'm making those eye movements again, Daisy.
So the place that is actually helping her, she has a lot of brain damage from drowning.
Yeah.
She's regained some cells back.
Oh, bless her. Oh my gosh. Well, it's
Yeah,
powerful
really.
stuff. But now I'm going to get my own.
Yeah, re-oxygenating the blood and the muscles is one of the key ways to get these things work to create those neurosynaptics, those connections again. Because people don't realize, like, you can have a stroke, you could completely, for instance, lose your left side of your body, gone, like no movement, no nothing. But your body, your neurons will make new connections if you can invigorate them and oxygenate them. They will. Now, will it be normal? Usually not normal, but you can get very close to normal, with a lot of treatments. But you got to make those new neuron connections with more oxygenation of the blood and muscles, for sure.
That's right. So I'm very excited about this because the little bit I've been doing in the clinic has definitely made an impact, and so much so with this and my juicing protocol and something called the Nemechek dysautonomia protocol, and my red light therapy and all the other things that I've been doing, so many things, so many supplements, that I've been able to go back to acting a bit, as I said.
Oh,
Wow.
Right. And I couldn't do that if I weren't able to move and remember lines. And if things hadn't taken a major turnaround, this would not be happening. It is nothing short of a miracle.
Back to acting.
Yes.
I could speak for everyone else, but we are literally jealous. I wish I could go back to instructing and teaching telecommunications and IT. You're going to make me cry tonight in a good way.
I know. I cry all the time out of gratitude, and
Yeah.
I cry all the time in general because
you're getting your life back.
Yeah.
I'm getting my life back. I'm getting my life back. I'm able to walk sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes my knees still buckle and I fall, and I just have to stay in bed. I still have some very bad days, and other things that are scary.
You got your voice back?
But I got my voice back. I did speech therapy too, and that was also very beneficial. I started a new medication for the voice tremor. I started propranolol. And I've been doing speech therapy, which is extremely beneficial. I would recommend it to anyone. Not the loud therapy, not the Parkinson's loud therapy. This is different.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm starting that in a week and a half.
Oh, really? I'm not saying no. It's a good thing. It's all good. It's all good. But my problem is not being loud. I'm plenty loud. It was the tremor. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's not necessarily. Yeah, you had a much more lower and raspy voice because of the tremor last time, and mine is my left vocal cord is completely paralyzed now; it doesn't move. So, it's going to help me amplify my right vocal cord to make up for the left one. So hopefully it does something.
Oh,
that I was today because of steroids.
Yeah.
You sound pretty great, Daisy. You sound like
nice.
You do. And I'm really glad you're okay. But yeah, so voice therapy of both kinds, all kinds, I would say, bring it on. Anybody who has access to any kinds of therapy of these sorts, do it. If you've got the access, I really, really encourage it.
I agree. I mean, 5,500 is a tax return probably is definitely a federal tax credit for a kid or two. You know, for probably two kids.
Right.
Can't spend any more of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I speak to people and they say, well, I can afford it. I have to pay for this and this, or we're going on a vacation. I think, oh, let this be your vacation. So I sold some very important things that were hard to part with because I don't see that there's any option. To me, it's black and white. And same thing with the hyperbaric oxygen. It's not that expensive, but obviously it's more than a drop in the bucket, but it's something. There's actually a rent to buy plan. There's a payment plan. I have all the information on that too. And well, obviously the supplements cost money, even the juicing costs money. Celery is expensive, the vegetables are expensive, but you just cut every non-essential out. And,
well, you can rent your chamber out. So
well, yeah, that's also an option. I'm thinking about it. So it's actually really not that expensive for a personal chamber.
Which is close to me.
I imagine she'd have to have a medical malpractice insurance to rent that
Yeah,
out.
There are,
but still, let's think about it. An Airbnb with a hyperbaric chamber. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I have. Yeah. I'll talk to a lawyer. I am going to for sure use it on my mom though, because I'm trying to get her. Oh, she's so perky now. But no, really, seriously, can't you see the difference? Can't just looking at me and hearing me, I felt so helpless. I felt so broken, just, and so much grief. There are still things that I grieve. I don't think I'll ever be an opera singer again. I can sing a song, but I don't think I could sing a whole opera or a whole recital. That's too physically taxing.
Yeah.
You never know what the teacher holds.
What's that?
You never know what the teacher holds, though.
Well, that's right. I've already seen miracles. So who knows? Maybe after I do the hyperbaric, 3 times a day for 6 months, who knows what could happen. And another thing about the acting is that the kind of stuff that we're doing, we actually did an interpretation of Dante's Inferno. We just did yeah, and we did the lust portion. and get to play dress up. We get to pull costumes out of a chest and silly and clown and be dramatic. And I got to sort of dance a little, and they used a recording of my singing that I'd done previously. And then I pre-recorded some voiceover in Italian and in English, and we all. It's just a beautiful thing. So I'm trying to not cry right now because I'm so grateful. I really am grateful.
I wish she lived closer by. I would rent her chamber.
Right.
I wouldn't hold you to nothing. I would do the disclaimer.
Make some good money off of that. What does that probably run you? Probably 5 to 10 grand for a lower end one.
It's $9 grand plus $600 for shipping. That's really good. I mean, it's obviously small.
It'll pay for itself.
It'll pay for itself, and it's not it's not as high powered as the big commercial models, but they do. This company does make higher end ones. They make all different levels, but this one is fine, and for what I need it for, it's fine. And so, and I'm still trying to learn about other things. The Nemechek protocol. This is the doctor's name is Nemechek. It was another patient who told me about this. This is for dysautonomia, and since I've been doing this, one of the things I've noticed is that I started sweating again. I had stopped sweating.
Wow, that's good.
And fibrosis. I cried because I was sweating. You
Yeah.
know, every tiny victory is a huge victory. And, you know, I just want everybody and everybody listening and everybody out there who's suffering to have some hope and some relief from the suffering and some you know, something to look forward to, because
Okay.
you know,
I think the moral of the story is, you know, not giving up on yourself. That time will come, unfortunately, where we have to give up. But you
right,
know, I think what you're saying, what I say, what Daisy says, you
Secure
know,
with fighting for.
we have to push people to fight harder than they've ever fought before. You know, and
right,
that means that, I mean, for you to travel to another country which does not have very hospitable roadways and walkways and sidewalks. Trust me,
right.
I know Mexico in and
A lot of
out. But
cobblestones, right?
yeah, my wife's from Mexico, so trust me.
Yeah,
But what you're saying, I mean, is that we have to push ourselves that much farther. There is a reward. You know, how big is it? We don't know, but there are some good payoffs if we apply ourselves.
that's right.
And
And
they're
I don't,
secure with fighting for.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, you know, I still don't know how much time I have. I still don't know what how much longer I'll be able to do this. I don't know if I'll be able to do the next show. I don't know really
sure you
much about it,
will.
but
Well,
I
like
hope it.
Sarah said, a plane can fall to the sky. You land through your house, you get
That's
out that way.
Yeah,
that is exactly right. And we
Nobody's putting stone that we're
owe
going to
it
die for,
to
we would say.
right, and we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to our loved ones, and we owe it to the memory of everybody we've lost
yeah.
to to do the best we can. We
With
really
what you got.
what you got.
What a
Yeah, and
beautiful story you
Yeah.
have, Kerry. What a beautiful story.
your hyperbaric chamber goes even a step farther, because the role of medicine, and we spoke earlier about supplements. The hardest thing to happen with supplements and medication is the absorption into the correct part of the body. And if you have hyperbaric chambers with the correct, like, neural supplements, stuff like that, it's
Mhm.
going to diffuse properly, even more so to where it needs to go. Because
Right.
stem cells, you can't control how many are going to go where they're supposed to. There's always outside shots of having, like, tumors in the body because they cluster up and don't go where they're supposed to. There's always risk. But
Right.
if you could complement stem cells or medication or supplements with a hyperbaric chamber that will infuse them into the blood, into the muscles, it's you know, your percentages of getting better just rise exponentially.
Right. And all
Absolutely.
interlocking,
Yeah,
interwoven.
Pushing it, giving it a little jump. Go where you got to go.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
So
You definitely changed. You were. I mean, you look 25 right now, Kerry. With all due
oh,
respect, your hair looks better. It looks fuller,
mhm,
richer.
it is.
You have some oily residue on your face, so you're sweating. You know, you actually, you know,
I am
you
sweating,
look,
yes.
yeah,
Kiss me.
you look vibrant, and that's not something we get to say very often at all. So
Oh,
whatever, you're doing well.
and I still have days where I think where I just can't function at all. The day is a total loss. I'm sure we all have those days.
But do you see yourself with more good days than bad days then?
I'm not sure about that, but I would say definitely more good days than 9 months ago.
Yeah, more bearable days.
9 months ago was going downhill very fast and in ways that just completely terrified me and left me confused and baffled and scared and very, very overwhelmed. And now I don't feel so overwhelmed. I feel, for instance, I have a new thing. My sleep study that I just had is much worse than last year's. Now I have a lot of central apnea. My O2 was in the 70s. Obviously, that's not good.
No,
So I need to treat that. And that's something that's gotten much worse in a year. So again, things are still heading towards the inevitable. And I can accept that more knowing everything that I've done and am doing, and to my loved ones, especially to my son. I will have a clear conscience knowing that, I've done what I can.
You're a fighter.
I'm a fighter.
Yeah, regrets in life are very hard to overcome, and especially treatments when we know where we're going to go. Like, oh, I missed that treatment. I should have applied sooner. I should have done this or should have done that. Yeah, that could take you down a very big mental toll. I completely understand that one.
Right. That's why for people who are on the fence about any of these things, who can manage in any way to for instance, drinking the juice. Some of it tastes pretty icky. There's one that's like scallions and asparagus, and they're separate, they're fine, but together as a juice, they don't taste so
Yeah.
good. But I just hold my nose and I just, toss it back, and
Yeah.
I have a juice, couple of juice buddies, and we FaceTime and we tipple our juices.
Well, all you have to do is mix a little bit of tequila inside there.
Right.
It'll help out a lot.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
watch the day with something else when you get done.
Right. Yeah, you do what you gotta do. So, and I am still learning and I'm still exploring, and my mind is wide open to anything new. I would hope every day. I've already been turned down for some studies, and
Yeah.
I think Daisy, you and I have spoken about this.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll ever be accepted for a study because of some pre-existing conditions and medications that I take,
Yeah.
which makes it even more necessary that I don't rely on Western medicine and that I rely on myself.
Yeah, I keep preaching it, and people keep hating me for saying it. But do not rely on anything. Don't. I have so many medications prescribed to me, and I take probably a third of them because I can control it. I may have accidents, I may have mishaps, whatever. But I would rather not rely on things, because once you go down and start taking all these medications, they interact with each other. And I believe in medication, but I don't want to take 1,000 pills like my father did and overdose on accident, kill myself, or the medicines conflict with each other. So I completely agree with you.
Yes. Yeah. And my philosophy is the same with the medications. I'm not irresponsible about it. I
Right.
take especially heart medicine and things like
Yeah.
that. One thing that I'm still not really able to control is the severe labile blood pressure, going from say 240 over 135 down to 60 over 40 within
Wow.
a short period of time. I have a big problem with that, and there's no medicine that can fix that.
Not that big, no.
No. But again, I would say I think the Nemetschek protocol seems to have improved that somewhat, because that's a nervous system issue.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's a baroreceptor reflex, but so that seems to have improved some too. So again, some things are better, some things are worse. Overall, I have enough good days that I feel that I can hold my brains together enough to figure out what's the next step.
And to get through those bad ones.
Yeah.
And to handle the bad ones and know this will pass. I get very frustrated because I want to do things before it's too late. I'm sure we all feel that frustration,
Oh
that
yeah.
angst. I need to write things down. I need to write my memories down. I need to collect.
Can you write?
Nah, not very well, but I can dictate, and so I do feel stress about doing things while I still can, but I would say I feel less stress than I did 9 months ago.
Yeah, it looks to be like you're on the right road. That's for sure.
On the right road, and whatever will be, I'm more okay with it now.
Yeah, I like your attitude, how you're open to trying new things. Because when you don't try new things is when you give up, and when you give up is your life gets much more shorter at that point.
Right. I think your body also reflects, there is a mind-body connection, and I think
Yes,
the
there
body
is.
can feel when the mind is giving up, and it starts to shut down. It is shutting, our bodies are shutting down, but it
Yeah.
shuts down more quickly, I
Yep.
believe. And so I'm trying to fight that trend, and I know that you all are too, because
Would you be interested in coming back to let us know how the various chambers working out for you?
of
Everything else
course,
you do? We'd love to have you back to learn more.
absolutely. I mean, it's an ongoing story, and and there's a lot to it. It's complicated.
Oh, that's for sure.
And I'm sure next time I'll have more new treatments that I know about. And but I'm very happy to share this information with anyone.
I'd be interested in next time you come back, the relationship between the supplements and the bariatric, because
Yeah.
when you take any supplement, it's not the same as something that's fresh and brand new. Say like iron supplement. It's never going to be the same thing as eating raw meat, because it
Right.
breaks down the moment you dehydrate it, you put it into a capsule. So I would be very interested in the relationship between those two.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right.
Well,
Well,
Kerry,
yeah.
thanks a lot for coming back and talking with us.
Oh, you're
We
so
really
welcome.
enjoyed it.
I'm really glad to be here.
And thank us for being a part of our 50th episode celebration.
Yay, 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 yay. And to everyone listening, again, sending out lots of love, lots of hope, big kisses and big theatrical kisses and hugs
Around the world, yes.
around the world.
And then around we go.
Around we go. Yes.
Yeah. Kerry, I appreciate you. And Daisy, with her shallow voice, has one more thing to say.
Yes, you have to remember we're all MSA Crusaders.
Thank you, Kerry, again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And listeners, we're back and celebrating our 50th episode. We had a new segment with Sarah. Sassy Sarah is back to talk to us again. But we have so many people that want to help celebrate our 50 episodes, and we're so grateful to each and every one. We wish you could have it all back on here with us. Welcome back, Sarah.
We had to settle for talking to Sarah. Sassy Sarah.
Oh man, you couldn't come up with anybody else. Oh, it's like fine. We'll call Sarah again, I guess.
So like, how far to the bottom of the barrel did we have to go, Daisy? Come on.
The pure bottom.
So many great guests coming back to stay and see us. It's very, very fascinating.
I feel very, very special to be invited, even though I was the last pick. It's okay, David.
It's all right. We'll let it go this time.
What'd you say about her before we came on, David?
Oh, Sarah's a pain in the ass? Yeah. Yeah. So Sarah said she no longer has a colon, and I said that does not mean you're not a pain in the ass still.
And I don't think there's too many people that would disagree with you.
I said it. I'm sticking to it.
Oh, we really want to thank all our guests that's come back to help us celebrate this big occasion.
Oh yeah, I can take it. I can take it because you know what? I have my Zed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
50 episodes already, though. It just doesn't seem like it's
50 episodes. Congratulations, you guys. 50. Woohoo!
Wasn't there 3 of them or 2?
Yeah, we have 3 segments.
Yeah. Which means we need to expand our participant list a little bit more.
Sassy Sarah will not be on until episode 200.
But just like tequila, too much Sarah is a bad thing for you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Am I wearing off on you, David?
Yeah, we love you, Sarah. That's why I'm picking you up that.
Oh, I know.
That's why I keep letting you come back.
haven't gotten Daisy to say fuck MSA though, but I'll keep coming back until she does.
Absolutely.
Isn't that enough?
Nope. Not enough. So,
Oh.
so Sarah, tell us what's been going on.
What's happening?
I hear you have some fancy new equipment, and you've been yelling at my videos or something like that.
Oh yes, I do. I have some fancy new equipment, and this week has been named Saving Sassy Sarah. Because a lot of things have happened this week that have been good for me. It's good things that we consider good. Like other people would be like, "Oh my God, if that happens to me, take me out back and shoot me first." Like, but for me, it's giving me quality of life and it's prolonging my life. And I'm super excited because I've been working hard for these. But yes, David, I was listening to your video on breathing and all your pulmonary function testing and all of those, and I was just like, "Yup, yup, yup."
Same,
And
same.
same. And like, I just think about the progression and how fast it is because like I started on a auto PAP for central apnea last year. By September, I started on oxygen. By November, I was in the hospital for acute on chronic respiratory failure. In January, I had a BiPAP titration study. Then I got on the BiPAP machine. And then I was hospitalized again in May for cardiac and GI and, palm issues continuing. And then now, just this week, I am on a machine that's called VOCSN. So it's a ventilator, it's oxygen concentrator, it's cough assist, it's a suction and nebulizer machine all in one.
Wow.
So you no longer have to hook up your oxygen concentrator to your, like at night, like if you were to have a BiPAP, you can feed in your oxygen. So now I'm going to be down to one machine at night.
That's awesome.
And
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
Oh, I think it's great.
You got a lot of white noise around your hair.
Why?
When you sleep, you have a lot of white noise going on.
Oh, you can't hear it.
No.
No, it's very quiet. It's very quiet. And the mask that I wear is the same as the one that I wore for my BiPAP. So you can't even hear it. The loudest noise that it makes is when you turn it on. It goes.
Really? Yeah.
So no, it's really awesome. And what I've learned from my respiratory therapist who comes out here is that people that have neuromuscular disease often benefit from this machine and things like it, even if their pulmonary function testing is what is considered above normal. Like you were saying, your FEV is, I forgot what you said, 70%, 60%.
Yeah.
Okay, so even with testing that is showing normal, within normal, we know it's not normal. The only way that we can truly measure things in some of our conditions is through an arterial blood gas test. And those hurt like a bitch.
He just had one of those.
What I said, yeah, I said, you know what? I'll take the spinal taps back again because that sucker hurts so bad.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
Oh,
I didn't realize they gave a sick needle in the artery. I thought it was always had to be a vein. So
I'm coming up for one of those too. And I'm trying to.
No,
Oh, speaking of, hey, you guys.
Arterial blood gas test.
yeah.
I don't want to change the subject, but I got some great news.
What's your great news?
My doctor has agreed to do a DAT scan.
Oh, that's nice.
We're waiting for the insurance to approve.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, me and David just been talking about it.
Yeah, a DAT scan. You said DAT scan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, DAT scan is the only test that can show lack of radio tracer activity in the regions that are affected by MSA. PET scans and MRIs are only for structure, but they don't look at activity rate. So they give you a nuclear medicine to tell the body to stop doing dopamine, and they can see how much activity you're losing. So At least if you get the DAT scan, it narrows down, says you definitely have a neurodegenerative disease. It's one of these 5 or 7. So it's a great test to have.
Do you have some IV or contracts or something with this stat scan?
Yeah, you take it. It's radiation, and you got to wait about 3.5 hours between that and actually getting the rotation of the stupid square that goes around your head for 45 minutes. So yeah, you'll have a solid 4.5 hours of sitting there.
Yeah, you
Fun.
have to take potassium iodine. I was scheduled to have the DAT scan, and I took the potassium iodine for 3 days leading up to it. But they failed to tell me that there was medicine that I was on that I shouldn't be on. But they did tell me that I couldn't be on cocaine.
I remember you saying that.
So I was just
Okay.
like, why am I going to go and do this DAT scan? Because at that time, like, my health was really, really bad. And they didn't tell me all the things that you can't be on when
Yeah,
you
there's a
have
whole
it,
list.
because of how it
Yep.
affects it. But they did tell me not to take cocaine. And I was like, okay. And literally they give you the component that they do is it has cocaine mixed into it.
So
So they don't want to overdose you.
what I was wondering, since I've been on Retari since 21, am I gonna have to be off of it for like a long time before this test, or how does that work?
No, usually it's the day of. It's just the day before. You don't take it, or the day of.
Oh.
Yeah,
There's
so
there's
it
a
depends.
list.
It depends with the medicine how long its half life is, how long it stays in the blood. So every medicine has a different answer.
Definitely look into that then.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to mess this up. And Sarah knows about my other goodness. I told her this morning. I just said share with y'all. I'm sorry. I have got my order back to get a Group 3 power chair.
No, they're not giving you wheels, are they? Wait a minute here.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Well,
Look out, Texas. Watch your ankles.
but they were only going to put me for a Group 2, but we got it up to Group 3 category now.
What's
Well,
the
you
difference?
need a group 3. I mean, I was just like blown away. So group 2 would be for somebody who has like rheumatoid arthritis, like severe case of rheumatoid arthritis or fibro or something like that. But group 3 complex power chairs are for like us, for ALS,
Well, I
muscular
mean,
dystrophy.
do they function differently?
Yes. Yes.
It's reclining.
Oh, okay.
So they have more features and more like organ support because like my chair, it tilts, reclines, the legs go up, and the seat goes up about 12 inches. There is another one where it could like totally stand you up, but mine doesn't have that one.
And Medicare does not pay for that one, no matter what your doctor ordered.
Medicare or Medicaid?
Medicare.
And commercial guideline, like my commercial insurance goes by Medicare, Medicaid guidelines for power chairs. But you have to show medical necessity for each thing. So like respiratory, like on my order, for example, respiratory failure was on there, neurogenic bladder, neurogenic bowel, like all the different things that happen.
Yeah, she said the new orders covered everything. But
So
she said
I sent
you
it to
can pay the $6,000 difference to stand up. $6,000. I just know I don't think that.
Yeah, to stand all the way up. Now my chair has the eye level, so I can go up 12 inches, but I can't tilt back and recline back enough to be able to stay in the eye level position long enough, because I need to be tilted back at a certain position most of the time, but it like the chair will literally not move and allow you to tilt back or recline if you are up so far. And you can only go like I think 4 miles an hour when you're up at 12 inches versus 6 miles an hour. Then
Okay. So for every husband out there, I want to get this clear and on the record. For every husband, what you're saying is you'll be able to get back to making dinner and washing dishes. Am I hearing this correctly?
No, we're not
You
talking
know,
about motor skills.
you know what? You know what? I am as tall as my husband when I am at the eye level, almost as tall as my husband. And I went into the kitchen and he told me that I should practice driving it because I ran into the cabinet a couple times
Oh,
and the fridge once. But that's because the things are there. But the things that I have been able to do in it are, I mean, so plentiful. And Daisy, you're just gonna love it because there is so much that you can do. And like I get excited about being able to go to the sink or go like I saw on top of my fridge. Like,
yeah.
Let
There's-
me ask you. It said something about climbing what's called card. You can go up the little step.
oh yeah. Oh, my husband had a heart attack when he was filming me out there. Like he literally stopped recording me and stopped talking to me because I did that in my driveway. And I went on the little curb and he was like, Sarah. And I was like, and
It
then
goes
one,
over uneven thresholds.
yeah, it goes on over uneven thresholds. And I tested it out, but the video cut off at there because my husband was a little cranky that I was getting a little sassy with driving it. But you know what? It goes for 16 miles on one charge.
That's awesome.
16 miles.
Yeah.
I have a little step in my den. That's what I was worried about. Losing it right there. It goes up steps. I'll be able to get up in the elevator.
It's so like when you still have to get a thing for your like a ramp for your house. Like we have an 8-foot ramp that is foldable.
Yes.
It folds in half and then it folds out, so it's like not always there. But I mean it can go over down a curb, but like you don't just do that to get out of your house. You still have to have a ramp. You still have to have a ramp.
I was just imagining Sarah really the Dukes of Hazzard with her wheelchair, like, yay!
Well, I mean, I don't have a step up. It's just a threshold.
You want to hear how stressed out I made my husband? So I call the wheelchair service because nobody is like able to transport a 435-pound chair. It has
Wow.
been almost impossible. And we have been dealing with Mobility Works, like wheelchair van place, and just, trying to get our own. But it doesn't even fit into the back of like, we can't buy a van like a Toyota Sienna or a Honda Odyssey that are typical and have like a crank thing and have it good in there because the floor weight is 400 pounds max. My chair is 434 pounds. It's heavier depending on the features that you have.
Yeah.
And there's like only one feature on mine that I don't have. So, I mean, it's a $70,000 chair. It's so I've been having difficulty with
70?
70,
About 60.
70?
$70,000 power chair. And yes,
Wow.
I mean, because it does a lot. I mean, it has 2 gel batteries in it. It like
Headlights, taillights.
it has headlights. It does so much, and it supports you. Like that's the thing.
It better mix my vodka and orange juice at the same time too for $70,000.
They told me at Mobility that it was not really to go places, it was ready for your home to help you at home.
It's for everywhere, but the primary use is for your home because it's for people that are like, I mean, I can't just go out and go to the mall. Like if I'm going out, I need to go out, I need to go to the doctor's office, or I need to go out and do something. But like my goal is to get to the point with the IVIG is to get to the point where I can go out more. But it's not just for
Well,
for
makes
home.
two
But the primary reason for it is at home because it allows you to do so much stuff. Like, I mean, just basic daily living activities I can put my bag on there, my oxygen hose, my ports, my like all of my stuff, can go on the chair. And we're figuring out like the accessories part. And actually, my new vent even has the wheelchair Quantum has a very specific vent tray. And the vent is pretty heavy, so it's going to be able to be mounted onto the chair, and then that will not have to be like next to me. It can be like right there. And I'm not on it all the time. I don't want you to think that like I'm on it overnight and then I'm on it for periods of time during the day. And it just gives me that what I need, But I have to tell you, so this wheelchair service that I found, it's kind of like an Uber Lyft, but it's called like Z Trip or something. Well, apparently they don't show up. Specifically called them the night before. Can I book a trip? Yes, you can do it on the app. No, I want to book it on the phone. And I want to make sure that you can have my chair, like you can support the size of the chair, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I want you to be here at 6:30. My appointment's not till 8, and I live 15 minutes away, really 5 miles. But I want to make sure that you're here. Okay. Nobody comes. Nobody comes. We're waiting by the door. And my husband's planning on going, like taking me anyways. But that would mean that we would be going in my old wheelchair, which like hurts me beyond words and it's just not good for my orthostatic hypertension, hypotension, POTS, SVT, nothing good about it. But after waiting for an hour, we're going to be late for this appointment. And it was actually at university. So with a neuromuscular, who knows what MSA is. So we have no choice but to get in the car and go. But I told him that I really think that since it's 3.4 miles away,
you can drive the chair.
No.
You see what I'm doing here?
Drive behind you in the car. You drive behind you in the car.
So I can see here. I see people with like the big sticks and the orange little flag, little wavy thing, like a golf course. I can see you with one of those going down the street, like whee. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even think about the orange flag. That would have been awesome. But my husband was like, and he knows that I'm sassy all the time. But he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No, not even close. Not even for a second are we gonna do that." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Do I have to even list the reasons?" And I'm like, "Yep."
I can turn slashers on and got right behind you.
So
well, it goes 16 miles, but how many miles per hour does it go?
6.
So you would get there in 2 1/3. Yeah, you get there in 2.5 hours.
I don't do math, David.
So, yeah, it goes 16 miles total, one trip, 6 miles per hour. So 16 divided by 6 is 2 point something, so almost 2.5, just over 2.5.
No,
So,
like it lasts for 16 miles. The
yeah.
place is away. Okay.
And you said it does 6 miles per hour. So 16 divided by 6 is 6 or 7.
No, how far away is the place from you?
3.4 miles.
Oh, okay. So you get there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So see, that should have been no problem.
The question is dead or alive is the next question.
That's what my husband said.
When I was a child, my dad told me you get extra points for old people and those in wheelchairs. So I'm just saying,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, but I got my SIN1 biopsy, not that day, but that was ordered that day. So I was like, I can't miss this appointment. Like, it's super important. But I saw a very, very good neuromuscular doctor at university, and she was completely understanding of how you can have multiple autoimmune conditions. She explained it to me, like for the first time, David, you've said this in your things too. It's like I wasn't explaining my condition to the doctors. Like they were telling me things, and I was like, you guys are awesome. And so she scheduled me for the SIN1 biopsy, and I went back and did that last week. Do you think the wheelchair service showed up then either?
No.
No. Do you think my husband let me drive it? No.
So it's basically like flying Spirit Airlines is what you're talking about.
The trip, yeah, whatever they are, they're making me mad. So my palliative care doctor is like, well, we've had some luck with people using the ambulance service. And I was like, I don't like the ambulance. And he's
Here
like,
we go
no, it's
again.
what?
I said, here we go again. Here we go again with the ambulances.
Yeah, not doing it. But apparently they have like special transportation that will carry these big heavy chairs, and it's not an actual ambulance. So that's my next try. But anyways,
Do you think that problem is just because you're in a remote area or something else?
I'm in freaking San Antonio, 2 million people. Like it doesn't get any. There's no.
You do live in a bad area, Sarah. You live in a
There
trailer
is
park,
no
Sarah.
reason why. In San Antonio, Texas, number one, we don't have neuros who understand MSA, except my new ones. Why we don't have as many. I mean, it's so frustrating, the neuro community here. Like, I have to take my child 5 hours to a neuroimmunologist at UT Southwest Dallas because San Antonio doesn't have one.
Wow.
We had one neuroimmunologist here, and he looked at me like I had 5 heads and asked me how to spell one of the names of my condition. And I was just like, and then told me that the next time I have an episode, I should see if I see double vision next to each other or on top of each other. And I was like, how about next time I don't have an episode?
Well,
God.
he's trying his best to cut down on the possibilities,
Yeah. Well, the ophthalmologist knew more than he did about my neuromuscular condition and vision. But so what I'm just saying is that there are a lot of people who are willing to learn, but not a lot that,
Is she back? Sarah. Your spectrum sucks.
You loser?
No, she's as slow as they get.
Mine is saying, hold on.
You're a
Really,
robot.
you sound like you have MSA.
Tell your robot. Are you using your computer to stop?
She's on Wi-Fi. And all the hotspot she has is interfered.
I just changed one. See if this one works better.
It's already sounding better.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and I forget where we
So it's down our chair.
Yeah. The neuro guy that said see if you're seeing doubles or something.
Take the ambulance.
Oh yeah. Oh, palliative care said that that's probably my best option until we get a mobility van is to contact this ambulance service, and insurance pays through it because I'm on oxygen. I'm on an IV. Like I literally I'm not just choosing to sit home. I have a lot of things, like if taking me out is like taking a newborn baby out. Like you're taking the formula, you're taking the diaper bags, you're taking the this, you're taking all the equipment for every organ system in your body plus you.
So
A
we
lot
just
of baggage there.
we're not able to say like hold your breath for a second till we get you in the van. That doesn't work. Yeah, big breath, Sarah. Probably not.
It is sus.
No, you guys, that's not very nice. I won't say that on air.
I'm vaccine mouth.
Oh,
Except
your
you go,
spirometer. Your spirometer. Oh, oh. I started PT again today too, but I have my RT too. RT was here the other day.
oh, you guys are twinsies. I
Yeah,
start mine. I start mine in about 2 weeks. My speech therapy anyway. So
What
See-
stinks is before I got COVID, I get to like care. Now I'm looking if I get here.
I'm not sure that's
Oh,
a good thing or a bad thing there, Daisy.
I don't think that's very good.
well, it's one of the pulmonologists was like, can tell you used to be an athlete. And I was like, really, really? But it's weird because when I get IVIG, you know, my muscles are stronger. So that's why, I mean, I got to the point where I wasn't even triggering the auto PAP. So that had to be done because I just stopped breathing. And then I have a full mask on my face and nothing's coming off. CPAP, there's just air blowing at me and I can't keep up with it. BiPAP was good for a while it lasted. But this vent, like, I'm still learning about it. Like, I don't have a trach or anything. I mean, I wear my regular mask, but she was here for 2 hours the other day setting things up. And for example, I breathed, it was like 18 breaths per minute. I breathed 3, the machine breathed 15.
Oh wow.
And I think it kind of sounds like a lot now that I was looking at it. I'm like, huh. But
Is that
I
a
just,
sleep or during the day?
that was when she was here setting it up.
Okay.
So that's why she wants me to get she's not, it's prescribed PRN during the day. No, during night, but you should see how my resting heart rate is so much better at night. And my oxygen, because I'm on oxygen at night anyways, so my oxygen is staying about the same, but my resting heart rate has gone down, which usually, you know, in us, our resting heart rate is indicative of our true oxygen level, not the pulse ox.
What's your resting heart rate at nighttime? More or less.
Resting heart rate now, let me tell you what it was last night. It was, I think, 50.
Yeah, they're supposed to be between. If I saw a chart, like 40 and 60. Mine's still up there into the 90s at nighttime.
Mine's at night.
Then you're not breathing, David. You need something at night to breathe.
Yeah, it
Mine's
says
at 93.
it says 10 less than 10 breaths per minute. I think it is. So
No.
I take a good amount of breaths right at 10, but the heart rate still must not be taking in enough oxygen.
But that's the problem is, so my resting heartbeat resting sleep. I'm going to show you this. Okay. See on this chart.
Oh, yeah, the nosedive, yeah.
Okay, so I've been on
That's
it
good,
for
though.
3 nights. 1, 2,
Yeah, the top one.
no, 3. That's not even it. So just these last 3. So
Oh yeah, it's your third dot. Yeah.
I was getting, my oxygen stats were 97 overnight on 2.5 liters, but my heart rate was still high. During the day, when my heart rate is high, I know my oxygen is low, even if my pulse ox is registering normal, because it's not that there's damage to my lungs, it's that it's the weakness. And because of the other pulmonary conditions I have, it's not reflective in the pulse ox. So the pulse ox doesn't
See, that
mean
makes total
much
sense.
at all. Like, I have hypoxia, I have hypoxemia, hypercapnia, blah, 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 respiratory failure, all these things. But how I can tell I need more oxygen support or I need support from the machine is when my heart rate is so high, I can't get it down. My vitals are fluctuating so bad. I can't sleep. My temperature is up, even though I don't run a temperature, like my skin feels hot. It's all related to breathing. And look at this. Like,
Yeah, last night mine was 88.
Mine went down with a COVID.
oh my gosh.
That's the hard part is it's just you
And I reached REM.
That is
oh, that's good then.
incredible.
Yeah, REM sleep is hard to get into.
My heart rate has gone down since I had COVID.
Yeah.
You're kicking COVID's ass. I mean, but
Okay.
Look at the area. You actually don't see it because it's zero.
David, that's related to your breathing.
Every night it's 0 or 5%, and the deep sleep is 0 or 5%. And I get a little bit of light sleep, and I forget what the other one is. It's like moderate or something. But yeah, it's hysterical.
You know what? Okay, look. This is absolutely, completely insane. My sleeping heart rate, this was night 2 on the vent, 58. My awake time was 1 hour, 22 minutes.
Sounds
My
right.
REM was 3 hours and 8 minutes. 3 hours and 8 minutes. I haven't gotten 3 hours and 8 minutes for like weeks. One night, 3 hours, 8 minutes. My light sleep was 4 hours and 33 minutes. And my deep sleep was 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Yeah, I've never had. That's funny because I will sleep. I now go to bed early. I try to go to bed around 8 o'clock, so I'll probably fall asleep around 9. And I'll wake up about 8 o'clock as well, or 9. So you're talking about a solid 11, 12 hours of not being awake, at least consciously, right? And I never get over an hour of REM sleep. And my awake time is always in the hours. It's hysterical. Yeah, oh yeah, trust me. And you wake up, it's like, why do I even wake up for? I just stay asleep, but it doesn't work that way.
No,
Yeah.
my medicine usually helps me to stay asleep. That has done, but it's not keeping me asleep anymore.
Yeah. That's what my neurophysicist says. She said all the medicine you're taking, any medication you're taking now, MSA depletes its usability. It won't work as good as it ever used before because all my medicines I have now, my Adderall, Seroquel, or sleeping, and all this other, even my anti-seizure medications are starting to fall off very quickly and not have any success. So
Because your body stopped metabolizing it.
yeah. I was happy for that anti-seizure medication because all those jerks I have at nighttime, and that's just at nighttime. During the day, you can at least times 2, times 3 because I'm actually reacting to TV and movies and people and cats and dogs and God and everything. And those I was hoping that thing would like maintain, and now I know that medication is starting to wear off just after like 2 months.
Keppra, right?
Keppra, yeah.
Have they tried to put you on?
There's nothing else I've been on for anti-seizure.
Ipecac?
No.
Yeah. I'm on one at night that helps with the cramps and the spasming, and it's called Lamotrigine. And it's an anti-seizure medication, but the jerks that you talk about in your video,
Yeah.
hello, that's me.
And the funny thing is that if you don't do your research, you don't realize how bad these things will get because myoclonus jerks are normal in the human beings, right? Adults and children. They're actually normal to an extent, like up to about 40, right? But if you go on YouTube and you start Googling myoclonus jerks and you actually pull up other like videos of people that have it more severe than I do, it looks like full onset epilepsy, like seizures and stuff. Now, myoclonus epilepsy is not the same thing as MSA myoclonus, but people with MSA, those myoclonics get so jerky that it seems like you're having seizures the whole time. So that's why I'm wondering. Like I always said, I don't really have tremors at all, but I have these jerky movements, and they're so often, so fast through the whole day. I wonder if that's actually the direction I'm going, is like full on myoclonus jerks that are uncontrollable with medication and stuff.
Yeah, they put epilepsy in my chart at the hospital.
Yeah.
And so I go to the hospital and they start like putting padding up around my bed and stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, you have epilepsy. And I was like, no, actually I don't. I'm like, that's a misdiagnosis in there. Just like I don't have artificial knee joints. And so, but they have suspected so many things because of that. And so I've been put on medication. I've had EKGs, I've had all of those things in the hospital, or EEGs, because it's like, what is wrong with her sleep?
Yeah.
And it's like I said before, or I don't know if I told you this, I started putting ankle weights
Yeah. You said
on my ankles, and I already wear these things that
The booties.
yeah, they're my blue booties, I call them, and they are to help keep my drop foot. So that
What's it called? Neuropathy too.
No, the neuropathy, usually anything touching my skin makes me shoot through the roof. But I've been better with the neuropathy stuff, has been better with the IVIG as frequently. So I've been able to handle touch. But it has really, having something weighted on my legs and on my feet has helped me. Like, because I just was coming out of my skin. I'm just like, I hate going to bed because all I'm going to do is sit there and twitch and jerk and, you know, all of this stuff. And I don't have tremors. I have like, if I'm touching my mouth, I'm,
yeah.
I have those kind of things, but I'm usually lucky to get 5-6 hours of sleep at night.
Yeah.
But when I got really, really fancy and figured something out. Now I'm on TPN, so I'm not going to be able to do what I did. Now my TPN is going to flow 24 hours a day, and I'm not going to have to change it 4 times a day.
Good.
But before, I could only go 6 hours and 40 minutes on a single thing before I was having to change my pump again. But I used a Y adapter and flew 2 of them at the same time, so that one was on. So I actually got some sleep. But no, I don't take naps either, David. Another thing, I'm listening to your thing and I'm like, I haven't taken a nap.
No.
The base syncopes that I had.
Unless it's a syncope.
When I was put on those medicine for the antipsychotic medicine, and I had the 3 syncopes, that's when they put me on the ministry. And I was on that for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Did it work?
I wasn't having seizures, so
Oh.
I didn't have any more syncopes.
Oh, I still have syncopes, but they're not related to that. I haven't had a syncope for a while. I haven't had a severe syncope. I've probably had maybe 2 syncopes within the last maybe 2 months.
What is syncope? Is a seizure?
No, syncope, like losing consciousness.
And
like my blood pressure, like
can kind of fake the seizure, like not fake. You're not faking it, but
no, like a syncope, like you just pass out, like you black out, like you're done. Like you have no recollection of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I blacked out. I always remembered it though. Yeah.
But you still can jerk in.
Like I don't remember any of it. And I have everything set up at night. So like, I mean, I have to I have cath, stoma bag, my vitamins, my medications, my oxygen, my machine, my tubing for port. Like there's 15 steps to get ready for bed. Like it's not just you go get in bed. So I have everything like all. So if one of those things, or if I wake up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning Like, I know it's because I had a syncope before I even got to the point of finishing where I was. Because
Oh,
there's no way in the world that I can go to bed without all of my stuff.
Yeah.
And so if there's a gap or there's something, because one time a doctor questioned me like, well, how do you know you have syncopes at night? You're supposed to be sleeping at night. And I was
Supposed
like, well, fair question, but let me tell you. And it was happening a lot more when I was having SBT, but since the ablation, I didn't, they cut down. But a syncope is what originally happened with my Guillain-Barré and viruses and infections, and those usually bring on paralysis. So,
Oh, wow.
but no, I just don't stay asleep.
Yeah, that's I used to be on trazodone used to be too sedative for me, and my psychologist was telling me that they really went away from that because it hits too quickly, too hard, too quickly, so they give out like Seroquel now for sedative sleeping, but I have up my dose to the maximum for Seroquel, and I promise you that's the only thing like that keeps me sane is having the type of sleep, that sedative sleep that maximum level of Seroquel can give you, and it barely budges at anything. I mean, during the night now, it's like, so now I got to rethink like Michael Jackson sleeping with propofol or whatever. I like, we joked about it, but when he had it,
I know.
but now we're like, can I have something that's like morphine, like something to knock the crap down? Because no sleep equals just your whole day's gone. And since I monitored my sleep for the last couple of years, all my devices have told me I've never had more than 4.5 hours of sleep. No matter how long I stayed in bed, never had more than 4.5. So, people have to say when we say we're tired, goddamn it,
we're tired.
We're fucking tired. Like,
yeah.
Sarah, have you ever seen Royal Pains?
royal pains.
Yeah, I watched that the other night. It's about a doctor that goes these people at home, and the patient reminded me of you.
Uh-uh.
Was the patient an asshole?
No, it's just all the problems, that they're going through. And they were dying. Nope, it's not Guillain-Barré.
Nope. Nope. Not. I'm not a movie star yet.
It's a really good show. You should check it out.
I think I found Sarah's possible twin on our MSA Crusaders Facebook. She messaged me and we video chatted for a while, and she has some very severe myoclonic jerks. I'm talking. So depending on what part of the body has a buildup of protein, the same alpha-synuclein protein builds up in different parts of the body, not necessarily misfolding, gives you these myoclonic jerks of different lengths in different parts of the body. And hers were like so severe from like her upper chest, upper torso. Was
like an exorcism.
Yeah, Daisy, that's the word, exorcism. I swear that she showed me some videos that they were concerned, and she had some other things going on that was very complicated. I said, you sound just like Sarah with all the intertwined conditions. And so, Sarah, I'm going to give you her Facebook. You maybe reach out to her and compare and contrast.
All the autonomic failures. That's
yeah.
If you want to see autonomic failure, you open up the book and you see Sarah.
Sarah, what have you been on the show with us for 3 times now? And then the next time is taking David's platform.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me on. I know this is probably my last chance, but
Get out of here.
It was good to see you.
David hasn't even listened to our show yet, Sarah.
The memory is not there anymore. I don't. When you have MSA, I'm not even going to blame it on attention deficit, hyperactivity attention deficit disorder. I understand what that is. I've had that forever. But MSA, if I don't see it, I don't eat it. I don't touch it. I don't do it. And that
doesn't care, Sarah.
No, I get it. I totally understand.
Every day, Sarah. Now, I don't do my hair every day, so I go outside every day. But every time I do my hair, I get it wet, I put some gel in there, right? And if I don't see the damn hairbrush, I never do my hair. And I walk out the door like I'm like a crazy Frankenstein. Like it's that serious with the brain. Like if you don't see it, it never crosses your mind. ever.
Yeah. People wonder, like, I kill trees, like, because I print everything off and
Yeah,
I print, 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 print. And they're like, why are you printing so much stuff? And I'm like, because if I don't see it, I don't know that it's there. Like, if somebody wants to rearrange my stuff, like, my husband's just doing it to be nice, right? Like, he's just like organizing stuff and like setting stuff up and, whatever. And I'll like have a mini breakdown because it's like, I don't know where my stuff is now. And like, all he did was seriously try to
Move it.
like move it around and like make it so I could
Yeah.
reach it, but I don't know where it is. So
yeah,
it's like, I appreciate you trying, and I'm just like, if I can't see it, I don't know where it is. And if I take screenshots of screenshots of screenshots
yeah,
because I
yeah.
can't remember. And that's like my memory stuff. But here's the thing, I am not completely losing my memory because once I'm jogged, then I remember. Like once I see a visual of it or get part of the information, then I start to remember the whole thing. So it's
Photographic.
like oh yeah, I've had ADHD my entire life,
Yeah,
but it's a whole new level of just being and it's not so much like I can't remember anything. It's that I need to have that information jogged. I need to have some kind of visual. Like today I finished a 7-day course of antibiotics and I took a picture of the bag and it had the date and the prescription on it. And I wrote done 9/12/2024. And like, I have a picture of it now. So when I go back through my pictures, I'm going to know, even though I
I've
should
been on
remember.
this medicine this week. I've got my MSA daytime medicine, my nighttime medicine, a COVID daytime medicine, a COVID medicine. Like, when is it going to be done?
You're all drugged. Hey, you should be feeling so good though with that dexamethasone.
Yeah, I said we should have this every day.
Yeah.
It's a,
Dexamethasone is a steroid.
um,
And
it's been
they give it to people during COVID. Like it's part of a treatment protocol for people with pox. Like if you went into the hospital, into ICU, they would give you a specific protocol, and dexamethasone is a steroid that is on that. When I had COVID, the one and only time I had COVID in November, after being in the hospital, um, I was given that steroid and I was given the Paxlovid. Now it interacted with every single medicine that I was on, every single one of them, and oral prednisones cause GI bleeding.
oh,
So I was like hanging on already. I just got discharged from the hospital after, acute and chronic respiratory failure and sequel of, I mean, it just, everything was wrong. And then I get COVID. I'm like, how am I going to survive this? Like, I can't go to the hospital because I definitely won't come out of the hospital alive. So I did the stuff at home. I mean, I was proning. Probably not the right way, but when you have all kinds of ports and tubes and stuff and whatever, but I was doing the dexamethasone and I'm like, I'm going to bleed. I know I am. Sure enough, GI bleeding, but I'm like, it's either this or I die. Like,
yeah,
literally, you have to pick and choose. And I know how I can stop the GI bleeding. It will discontinue with the med. So, and then the Paxlovid, I mean, it was horrible bleeding, but it was either that or don't take the medicine and be dead.
yeah. I've thankfully only had one medication that interacted with my MSA that did things I never would tell anybody in public. But one of those things was bleeding from places I never knew I could bleed from. And at that point, you realize every time you take a new medication, it's like, what else? It's just not, the side effects they say on TV is not what happened here. I'm like, wow, would I be the first patient ever to have this or something? But yeah, medications when they react bad to MSA, it's not good ever.
It would be because you're very special, David. You're special like that.
special,
Well, it's helping me,
special ed.
walk, but this morning it's telling me to go sit.
No, special ed is the best. And I told you I was a behavior intervention teacher for years, and I miss it. I miss it.
I trust
That's
me.
why I can keep you under control.
I see and hear you talking very slowly to Daisy. I understand why now.
I have a student for you, Sarah.
Really?
Oh, I miss my students.
Did you just point at me?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm slow, but I'm not that slow.
I was a behavior intervention teacher, and I taught social skills. So it wasn't like my students were like my children. They were like my own kids. So yeah.
Well,
You can be my student and I'll teach you social skills.
I got out of high school a year early, so I'm not that special.
Oh,
Well, it's good to see you again, Sarah, and have you on the show. I really appreciate you coming and helping us celebrate 50 episodes.
Yeah, you are currently up to number 5 total on our episodes.
Everybody loves Sarah.
I'm just concerned about the 6.7% of our audience who doesn't specify who they are or where they're from. So
I don't want her to know.
we might have some CIA secret agents listening to your podcast. But yep, but you got the U.S., Australia, New Zealand, the U.K., Ireland, Mexico, Canada, and surprisingly 1% in Turkey. So congratulations, Sarah.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody loves Sarah.
I can't believe that this person just talks like this, and I know I am who I am, and I don't apologize for it because I love with my whole heart, and I am forever a teacher and advocate, and I love all of you guys, and we're all in this together.
That's right, because remember, we're all MSA Crusaders.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.